Mark it. Slow it down. Slow it down. Just this down rod right here. Just that down rod quick. Sorry, I know I stole it, but alright, grab the net. Just get that one and get the net. Come on, buddy. It's right here. I'm bringing her back around to you right now. That side, that side. In. Yeah, buddy. Boom. Nicely done. Yes.
Mojo.
Right. Mojo. Yeah, baby, yeah.
What's up, Yins, guys? Welcome back to Fishing PA with Ryan Reed. Guys, if you've watched my channel over the last couple of years, you know I've been doing a ton of musky fishing. And with that musky fishing, I've been really buying and fishing with musky lures that are made locally here in the state of Pennsylvania. Now, guys, there was one lure maker in particular that I just love his body of work. I love all of his baits that he makes. I love his paint. I have so much respect for this individual, and his name is Todd Leopardi from Leo Lures. Now, Todd is a local bait maker here out of Elwood City. Todd's been making musky lures for years and years and years, and Todd really has like a rich history in the musky community, all the way back to one of his very good friends, Ed Ladiano. Now, guys, I've been fishing Leo lures a lot more heavy, probably the last 2 years. And I can tell you that his baits are super consistent, and they've really helped me put more fish in the bag. And really, Todd is just super humble, and he's just like so down to earth, and he's one of the nicest people you will ever meet in your life. Todd always shares information. He really will help you learn how to use his lure lineup, and he will make sure that you have colors that really work well on your body of water. So guys, you know, I've been talking a lot about Leo lures. The footage that I had at the beginning of this video was actually Donnie Swink and we fished the Three Rivers Chapter 16 of Musky's Inc. Pima tuning tournament last year, and that was like our only fish in the tournament. And that came on a Mojo and Flow perch right here, actually this very bait. So I apologize for the video being grainy. I didn't have that clip. I had to rip it from YouTube, but you guys get the point. You know, I've been using these lures. A lot of my friends have been using these lures. Dan Lutton, one of my very best friends who got me into the sport of musky fishing, taught me about Leo lures, and he's been running them and just buying, like, I think he has like over 100 Mojos. So guys, I've been compiling all of these baits, you know, not only trolling, but casting baits. You know, I got some of Todd's jerk baits, the Leo jerks, in the 6-inch, you know, some really awesome colors for around here. And I've just been buying a ton of these baits because they work. They've been helping me catch a lot of fish. All right, so you guys know I'm super serious about this Leo stuff. I am committed. So guys, just like talking to Todd Leopardi over the last couple of years, talking to him at the Musky Max, talking to him through like Instagram when he's posting baits, you know, I just have so much respect for Todd Leopardi and the Leopardi family. The Leopardis are actually like, this is like a family-owned business. Everybody is super involved. Everybody has their part. And I've just been like so enthralled with this company and these lures that I just like was thinking about it. Like, how cool would it be if I actually got with Todd, went out to his shop and did like a shop tour? I just thought to myself, like, that would be like one of the coolest media type videos I've done. I love stuff like this. This is the reason why I do social media, is for opportunities like this. Well, guys, Todd actually agreed to do a video, and he welcomed me out to his shop. Dan and I went out and we took Todd's shop tour of Leo Lures, essentially his lab, where he spends a lot of his time coming up with creations like that Magnum and that Mojo, and again, like these types of jerk baits that just work so well on Pennsylvania reservoirs and rivers. So this video, that's what this video is about, guys. I'm like super excited about this, and I just want to say I'm extremely thankful for this opportunity. Again, I just have so much respect for the Leopardi family. I have so much respect for Sean Leopardi. Sean runs Musky Max, which by the way is this upcoming weekend. I couldn't be more excited. This is like my favorite show of the year. I personally feel like this is the best muskie show in the country. I know there's a lot of bigger shows out there, but the Musky Max always brings it every year. We've got a lot of solid local bait makers like Todd. They come out and they display their gear. And if you are a serious muskie fisherman, this is like an event that you absolutely do not want to miss. So you guys can tell I'm super excited about this, but I want you guys to take the Todd Leopardi and Leo Lures shop tour with me. You're to see where these baits are essentially born, and it's just like a really cool thing. So let's go ahead and jump into the footage from Todd's shop. Let's go take the tour, and then we'll circle back around right after.
In 2 days.
Hey there.
Hey, it's the Leopardis and Dano.
How'd you get in here?
How'd you get in here? Wow, that's awesome. So we're out here at Todd's shop today, and what are we gonna do? A little tour.
Yep.
We got Lori.
Hi.
And we're pumped to be here. So I don't know. Let's I'm kind of excited about this. I don't know where to start. You have like so much stuff on the wall too. I want to see everything. So
There's a lot of stuff here.
a lot of stuff here. So let's go check that room out first.
Oh no, there's just so much.
All right. So what do we got going on in this room?
Okay, in this room, this is all woodworking in this room. I'll get my downstairs. I keep the main wood, and we'll cut it to length. A lot of that we do outside just because it throws so much sawdust. Once we cut it to our length and everything, you'll have just a regular block of wood. This one here is for doing 8-inch jerk baits. Yeah, we have wood up here for 6-inch jerk baits, 8-inch jerk baits. Shayla shad wood down there, back in this corner. There's actually a stack of Shayla shads there.
That's sweet.
Yeah, there's ones.
Check that out.
And these are all magnums. These are all, I already got the eyes drilled and where the lip screws go and where the wire goes. Belly screw, lead. Yeah, those are all, awesome. They all need sanded and the lip groove cut.
I gotcha. That's really cool though.
And everything that we do on the lathe is done here. What you would do is, see if I can get it on there. Put your piece of wood in, crank this across. When you turn the lathe on, your wood's spinning. The router is actually has a cutting edge. It's gonna cut, and this pin is just gonna follow right on the template. And that's where, like we were just making 8-inch jerkbait bodies. So that's what you do on here, and you'll cut them, sand them right on the lathe, and you'll do all your other steps off of here, but that's everything that's done on the lathe.
Sweet.
We have a couple band saws. This one's an old Sears bandsaw that I've had for years. It's pretty beat up. And then I got that Laguna that's a lot more, that's a better bandsaw. It's more precise cutting with that. That's how we cut all like our Magnum bodies, Mojo bodies, Shayla Shed bodies are all done on there. And have our little sander. It's for, every lure gets the ends sanded, but like jointed lures, you do the joints on here. We use this for sanding on the edge of like the Lexan lips, taking any edge off of them. Use this for sanding any of our shad bodies I do on here. And then this router, that's what we do all the jerk bait, like the groove on the jerk bait.
Okay.
We do that, and it's funny because they're old. The jerk bait that I make was Ed Latiano's the one that told me about making. He called him a Ready Eddie, and he told me for years, you got to make a jerk bait. And I never thought, looking at the action, they don't swim.
Mm-hmm.
They just dive and rise, and I never thought that I would like them. The very first time I used them, got fish on them at Tamarack Lake, and I sort of sold on them right away. Started making them, and Ed showed me how to make the jig for cutting a groove, and actually I'll show you the... Yeah, these are the most crude looking jigs, but they work. Yeah, you lay your lure in, just slide it straight in, it'll make one side groove. It's like a right-handed and a left-handed jig, and that would do your other side. They look horrible, but they've worked for almost 30 years, so.
That's awesome.
We have all like sandpaper and everything up there. And
okay.
These are just little pieces that I have for marking where the belly screws and everything go.
That's awesome. So this is where...
There's our drill presses.
Drill presses, this is where all your baits are born.
Yep, for like the Lexan lip that goes in like a Mojo or a Magnum, we drill on here.
Mm-hmm.
I have like all these little templates or jigs back here you set on. That'll hold the lip, and you get both your holes drilled. This will drill out for where your wire goes into the lure. And then like this one right now is set up to drill the eyes on a jerk bait. It'll drill. Wish if I had one to show you. Set aside. Yeah, I don't have any. This isn't the correct one to go in there, but yeah, this is a 6-inch jerk bait.
Okay.
It would set in there, and then you just drill your eye, flip it, drill it again.
Gotcha.
You'd be lined up. But it's on an angle so that it gets the hole right.
I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. All right. So, wait, I wanna ask you a question about. So this fish right here.
Mm-hmm.
What's the story on this one? 51 caught on a Shayla.
Yeah, that was my first 50-incher. Me and Jim Walker. That was our first year to go to Lake St. Clair. And it was a heck of a trip. We got 4 muskie over 50 inches, and it was funny because 3 of them were on a Shayla shad in redhead that I painted for Jim Walker with like a little smiley face, and that lure was just on fire. But I had that replica done by Joe Ferrante. He did like a great job. Paint job looks perfect on it.
Yeah, that's a really pretty fish. That's a really awesome one.
Yeah, it's funny because me and Jim, he got his 50 the same day. We got both of our first 50s the same day. I can't remember how many hours apart. And then a few days later, Jim got 2 more in the same day. And it was just crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
And all of our hardware, it's like screws and hooks and a little bit of everything is in here. We have bags, and this is all screws. This is lips, metal lips, hooks.
Look at that giant box of hooks. And in here, this is where we seal and prime everything. Everything gets 3 coats of sealer, and then you hand sand them, and then you put 2 coats of primer, white primer on them, and like at this stage right now, these are all ready to paint. So cool. Well, let me just get a.
Yep.
This is a giant rim for this. I don't know that I realized like how big of a space this is till I stepped into it.
Well, you know what? I had it written over here. Yeah, there's 128 pegs to make 1 lap.
128 pegs.
Yeah, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow.
Whatever that is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those are all 9-inch jerk baits on that far wall.
Look at that. This is wild to see it though.
Paint booth?
Yeah, let's do the paint booth.
Alrighty.
Whoa. Alright, ooh, so what do we got going on in here, Todd?
We got a lot of jerk baits, a couple magnums right now that we're just we're about halfway through the process on painting these ones. Yeah, nothing in here is actually done.
All kinds of colors.
Yeah, we have our little name tags of what the colors are, and sort of keeps us straight.
Redfin, pumpkin seed.
$9 perch.
Oh. That might be my favorite color.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, cool. So this is where.
Yep.
So this is your
All the
paint setup
airbrushes.
then. Oh wow, I didn't even notice this before.
Yeah, I got 9 airbrushes set up. I got 2 new ones I'm getting ready to hook up. Got all my paint jars, and got all different types of nettings here.
Look at all that. For all the scale work and everything.
A lot of different paints. And we use all like lacquers and urethanes, and yeah, some of these are like different colors that we have to paint for people, and this is a whole box full of just color names.
Wow, look at that.
There's probably close to 300 different colors listed in here, and on the backs of a lot of them we have how we paint them, just to keep us a little bit straight.
Yeah, that's awesome. So wow. Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff going on in the paint booth.
Yeah, there's a lot of different steps. I mean, I think the most colors that'll go into one lure is 11 different colors.
Ooh, that one, I like that one. I was looking at that pattern at the
fire tiger.
Sweet. So this is where you come up with all of your paint creations.
Yep, we have an exhaust here, and like I said, all the different nettings that you use. There's so many different types. They're all from different fabric stores, and really anywhere you can find any type of netting.
That's very cool. So the exhaust just runs right out through there then?
Yep.
That's awesome.
It's built in here, and the exhaust, it'll pull it out and use your filter. It catches everything. We have all different types of like glitters, and
oh yeah.
this is an old Ed Ladiano trick, is put your glitter in a salt shaker. It does work too.
That is so
Yes.
cool. I never even thought about that. All right, awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah,
We probably
this is all different parts that go on Badger airbrushes. So I probably have a small store here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool stuff.
Yeah.
So what do you got going on out in the main area here? Is this just like
This is where we assemble everything.
Okay.
Yeah, everything gets assembled here, and we have different screws and.
Is this where Lori's putting on split rings? And,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. She does. I'll tell you what. She does a lot of work. She orders everything for us. She does most of the assembly and helps. You know, we go tune lures. She's right there helping tune them and packaging them, and my hand's jacked up now, so I don't sign as many of the lures, like where it says Leo. Lori's sort of taken that over.
Okay.
And I do some of them, but not. I used to do all of them, but it's my hands. It's hard to write very well anymore. Yeah. So she does that, but there's so many steps to them. It's amazing.
I will say it's amazing to see that your paint hasn't missed a beat at all.
I don't know, man. It's back to probably what it was now.
Mm-hmm.
But at first, I mean, I'll show you something. It's crazy. This looks horrible, but it's the only way that I was able to hold an airbrush for a long time, because without having this finger and this one doesn't bend, you're typically going to be using your pointer finger to pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be able to hold the airbrush. I was actually painting with this finger, so the only way I could hold it was to put this.
Oh wow!
It looks stupid, but yeah, that was the only way I could paint for a long time. And it's hard to use your ring finger. You don't have the same feel.
Right.
Even your middle finger, you don't have the same feel as you do with your pointer finger. So now I've adjusted to it. I don't use these anymore. Pretty much back to being able to spray. I just don't, like I said, this joint doesn't bend at all. So it's took a lot of screwing around to get it back to the way that I like to paint.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I don't know. Your paint. I haven't noticed anything, but I'm not really known for my attention to detail. But
you know what the hardest thing to do now is like on rainbow trout, like spraying them little tiny spots.
Oh yeah.
It's like you have to have everything just right, and it's back to normal now. I've definitely put enough hours in to get it. It's working.
It's working.
Yeah.
So you got some baits up here. I wanted to take a look and see if we can go through the bait lineup for what you have. Now, a lot of this stuff will be available at Musky Max, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, cool.
Yeah, these are 6-inch rubber tail jerk baits. And
ooh, that's a good color. I do like that pumpkin seed.
Yeah. Pumpkin seed's been a good color. These are 8-inch rubber tail jerk baits.
All right, so here's the 8-inch. What is that? Like black spark? That's a sparkle?
That's sparkle. You can see.
Okay.
It's hard to tell in here, I guess.
Yeah, that's.
It'll
I don't know
change.
that I've seen, like, I've actually looked at one at the booth or anything. That's pretty.
Jim Walker got a huge one. It was on a Shayla shad in this color. He got a 54 3/4 on that color up at Lake St. Clair. Yeah, these are all magnums. These 3 rows are all different colors of magnums.
So these are all. So I got to wait till Max, but these are all coming home with me, right? I'll just take the.
They're all going right in your tackle box.
Yeah, exactly.
And over here I got these top 2 rows are all Shayla shads. That's been probably our #1 bait for years up at Lake St. Clair. It's small, but I mean it's what we catch them on. The last few years that we were going, we also were doing real good on mojos. It was probably 50-50 between Shayla shads and mojos. Around here, definitely the mojos and magnums have taken over. But I think we have right now in here. I think we have 112 different colors of mojos.
112. That's.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never have that many on hand, but.
So how do you manage 112 colors? Like I mean, you probably even have more than that, right?
Yeah, I've painted. I couldn't even tell you. I show you a whole box, and there are probably 300 or 400 different patterns that we have written down. But this is what's on our website, plus some new ones. And I don't know. It's hard to keep track of every single thing you got. I started going through. We have a printout of all the colors, and I started like checking them off to make sure we had them all. But yeah, it gets confusing.
So how many colors has Lori come up with essentially that are in that cabinet? I'm just curious.
Pretty many. Yeah, I would say probably close to 50% of them she's helping me on. Yeah, I mean she's like, I'll ask her, what do you think about if I add like those ones I was just showing you in there? I said, you want chartreuse bars or purple bars or what? And she'll pick certain colors out. Yeah, so when she's in the boat, these 2 colors are always
sarsaparilla.
Yeah, sarsaparilla or watermelon. And as crazy as it is, they definitely catch fish.
What's the biggest muskie you've caught, Lori?
This one here.
Oh, right there.
Yep.
51 and a half.
Yeah, it's our biggest.
Wow, that's awesome that you have like the tag. I saw that one on the Shayla fish too. I'm gonna look at that one real quick.
Yeah,
that's a 44 and a half.
Yeah, that was Shayla's first muskie, and that was up at Pigeon Lake, and this was Joey's first muskie. That was at Pymatuming with my buddy Woody.
Oh, that's awesome. That's very cool.
Yeah, Shayla got hers on a riffle runner. Joey got his on a minnow. Actually, it was a Fire Tiger minnow, which I don't even make the minnow anymore.
That's awesome.
What happened was the minnow and the Shayla shad were very similar, same lip, just a different body style. Mm-hmm. We've just caught so many more fish on Shayla shads, it's ridiculous. And I thought, keeping two lures that are very similar in size, it wasn't worth it. I was selling probably 50 Shayla shads to every one minnow. It just wasn't worth carrying that size anymore. So eliminated the minnow, just went with Shayla shads, and I don't know. It's like I said, that we would go to St. Clair before I was making a mojo. If we had 6 rods out, every single rod had a Shayla shad, just different colors, and we caught as many as anybody else up there on just using one style lure.
Yeah.
But the mojo is really, man, has that been a super consistent lure everywhere, and now the Magnum, that lure is starting to really pick up too.
So let me go back and ask, because there's this picture over here too of you and Sean.
Yeah, it's 1975. It's up at Seabright, Ontario. Yeah, it's odd because we never really kept fish. And I mean, you see in that picture, there's 2 muskie, a pike, and a walleye. And I don't know if we had some type of a fish fry or what, but I mean, it was very rare that we kept a fish. If we did, we would keep one and have it for fish fry. But 99% of what we caught was let go. I mean, very, very rare you kept something. Sean got a huge walleye one time. We kept it. It was like 30 1/4 inch. We kept that. But yeah, not too often did we keep them.
Yeah. So how long have you been musky fishing for? Like, how did you get started musky fishing? Is it like this long ago when you started?
Yeah, that was my first trip to Canada. It was 1975. I was 5. So, yeah, my dad, he said for me to go up to Canada with him, I had to be 5 years old. And you don't figure it out for years, but my dad would paddle us around and let you cast. Like, it was probably rare for him to cast. He would paddle you right in, show you where to cast. And now you figure it out that he got a bigger throw out of you catching them, than him catching them.
Yep. Yeah, that's a really cool story. When would you say you started building baits?
You know what? I started making bucktails in like 1988. And made those for a couple years, sold them to like Trader Horn stores and stuff. But I think in 1990, I'd made my first wooden lure, and I didn't sell them or anything. Back then we were just making them for ourselves. But in 1990 would have been about when I first started making a few, and then it picked up. Each year you'd make a little bit more, but I wasn't making them just for musky. I was making some little bass lures. That's when I was making my minnow bait, and like more small lures. And then I come out with that, I called it a tailspin. It's a little lure. It would be like how like a whopper plopper is with a tail that spins. But we were making it back in the 90s, and the one that we seen that had that was I think it was called Gooch's Tallywhacker or something like that was the name of the lure from, I think it was like Wisconsin or Minnesota, but it was a musky size. So I made a little wee tiny one for bass, and I thought, man, it was cool. And we did catch a pile of bass on it over the years. And now there's a ton of bass lures like that out.
Yeah. So now here we are after building, and really where I kind of like was introduced to, Dan had introduced me to, essentially Leo lures at one of the shows. And I remember talking to you about St. Clair and, what color. And I think I got a couple of Shaylas off of you, and I went up as like black perch, and we went up and fished. And then, I really started last year. I think when I talked to Doug is when I really started like going hard on the Leos. And I'll tell you, they made a huge difference for me. But, I didn't really know the history, like how you started, how long you've been doing it. And we talked a little bit about it at Max. I think the last year we had Max, and it's just really cool to like see, you have your Shaylas, and then you've got the jerk baits, and then Mojos, and then Magnums, and there's just...
What's progressed, like over the years, we had minnows that were just, done on the lathe and everything. Then we had musky dogs and riffle runners and hogs. Everything was done on just the lathe. And then now all my shad bodies you're routing them all. You can't do them on the lathe, and it's a different shaped body. So it's like you change over the years what you're making, but my jerk baits have pretty much stayed the same the whole time. The only change that I made was I did make some. Ed Latiano had told me about one that he made. It was called a shark tail. And actually, I had one in here. I was going to show it to you. This is a pretty old jerk bait. But yeah, I always thought it was cool looking with the tail. He called it a shark tail.
That's awesome.
But
You ever see that?
yeah, this would have been like mid 1990s when I made this. But then we just switched to the regular. Like Ed's was called a Ready Eddie, and he's the one that definitely got me into making jerk baits and showing me how to weight them. And he gave me a few of his, jerk baits, and he was just a cool guy to talk to. Here's a giant one that he made.
Oh wow! Wow! Look at that. That is such a cool picture.
Yeah, he was a cool guy to go talk to, and you can see that's in his basement. There's lures that are hanging. He just had like a wire strung through his basement. He had all lures hanging, and but he's the one that helped me the most with jerk baits. Everything else that we did on the lathe, my dad was a machinist for years, and he ran my lathe. Like we got everything set up. My dad would come over, run the lathe, and he didn't paint. My dad was definitely not a painter, and I think I got a lot of the paint, like the way I do colors and stuff, from my mom. My mom's an oil painter. Okay. She's a heck of a good artist, and I probably got a little bit of that from her. But my dad, like him getting me out in the outdoors, taking me fishing, and I mean, that's what definitely got me into musky fishing. And if it wasn't for him getting me into musky fishing, I would have never got into these lures.
Yeah, that is so cool. So I'm just curious too, because I feel like this is one of those things where you've got the whole family involved in this thing, right? So,
yeah, I had my daughter Shayla. She's not living at home now, but when she was living at home, she helped us some assembling and all that. And Joey, every once in a while, he'll come up and run the lathe a little bit, but he helps, on all the assembly, and like with us getting ready for the show, he's up here, helping with what he can. But Lori definitely, she does a lot. She makes a lot of phone calls and orders everything. She receives a lot of phone calls, and there's just a lot more to it than what people. I think they think you run something on a lathe, get a body shape, you're painting them, and you're done. There's anywhere from 40 to 65 times you'll handle that bait before it's done, and it is monotonous because you're doing the same step over and over and over. It's something I enjoy doing. That doesn't bother me at all. And I don't know, if you didn't love making lures, you couldn't stick with it. You gotta love doing it, or you'll bow out pretty quick, I think, because it definitely cuts into your fishing time, and for us, I think it cuts into all of our time, because if I'm not at work, I'm in my shop all the time.
So you said 45 to 60 plus times you're touching a bait.
Mm-hmm.
I said I just picked up a couple baits in order with you, and I probably touched those things at least 45 to 60 times after I had them in my hand. So that's just wild to think about. I mean, there's so much more involved in this process. What do you think?
I agree.
It
amazes me. I appreciate it too. Like, I like seeing like you guys are excited about it. So it's great. It makes me feel good that like something that I made, that somebody appreciates it and likes what you make. They're using it to fish with, and yeah, it's good.
And catching tons of fish. It's like I don't even know. I think the majority of the fish I caught last year were on either mags or mojos. Significantly changed, my fishing.
It's good to hear.
And I think part of it too is just how consistent. It's every single lure I have runs the exact same depth. Like, I am so impressed with the consistency overall. So
I appreciate it.
This is why I wanted to see the lair, so to speak, because this is just a cool thing. You know, I know you make one of my favorite lures, and I know this guy right here.
One of my favorites.
He's got a
for
few,
sure.
huh?
Yeah.
How many Leo?
You mentioned that minnow lure. I probably have 15 of them.
Really?
Yeah, from when we had the show down at the school.
Yep.
I came down there and I seen your lures and I just started buying them then.
All right, cool. Well, we can wrap some of this up. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Todd?
No, it's,
This was a cool thing. I really appreciate you letting us do it. And
it's always good hearing what people are catching and like what colors are getting on or what size lure, and it's good hearing feedback.
yeah, it's awesome.
And,
So
on our we have an Instagram page that we post probably more new colors or new lures that we would come out with. That's more up to date with what's happening right now, and it has a lot of times it'll have a little bit about like us, a little bit, you know, it'll have pictures of something that we're doing besides lures. So, but that's more up to date than my website. My website, we update that maybe once a year. Where Instagram, it's if I have a new color, it's on there that day. And so, yeah, it's probably a better spot to look just to see what's more current.
all right, very cool. So Instagram, you got the website. Was that leolures.com?
Yep, leolures.com. Yep.
All right, cool. All right, well, this is fantastic. I'll probably still putz around and just like make sure I got everything, like just random stuff. But I really appreciate you doing
Thank
this.
you.
Thank you guys very much. It was fun.
Yep, I
It was
appreciate it.
very fun.
Leo Lures, let's go. Musky Max, less than a week away.
It's gonna be fun.
All right, Yins guys, that's it, man. That is the Leopardi shop tour. Man, I love this stuff. This is such a cool thing about the Musky community when you got local, essentially legendary bait makers like Todd. And again, guys, Todd really was good friends with like local legend Ed Ladiano. You know, these jerk baits, from my understanding, you know, these were sort of off of the original Ladianos. And again, like Western Pennsylvania, there's so much like rich musky history here. I just really I dig that stuff. I eat that stuff up. Like I read articles about Howard Wagner, Ed Ladiano. And, you know, this year I kind of decided to start like making like a bait museum. Like I really wanted to get some of the local lure makers that I really love and use their products. Like I wanted them to sign baits for me. I really want Todd to sign a bait or two for me. I'm going to try to do that at the Musky Max. But, you know, just talking about some of the rich history and, you know, again, like Todd being so close to Ed Ladiano, like I went out and got my first Ladiano bait. So there's my first Ladiano bait from my collection. You guys can see Ed signed that right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's got the EVL engraved on the bill. This is just like a super cool piece of Western Pennsylvania history. And again, like Todd Leopardi and the Leopardi family, like they were so close to Ed, and Todd like built so many different lures over the last, you know, so many years. It's just like a cool thing for me to be a part of this thing and go out and just do like the shop tour. So I have like nothing but good things to say about the Leopardis. I love the way Lori's involved and really helps Todd. We talked about like colors and stuff. Like she's come up with colors. I love how Todd names all of his baits. Like, you know, the Mojo after Joey, the Shayla Shad after Shayla. Like it's just such a cool family run business. And it just like, I love all the aspects to what Leo has going on. Again, guys, like these are the cool things that I love doing in the winter. Like I love being a part of all of these like potential like media ventures and just doing things like this, showing you guys what Todd Leopardi's shop looks like and just having him like tell stories. This is just really cool stuff. And again, I'm like super thankful to be a part of this. So I just want to send a huge thank you out to the Leopardis. You know, thank you to Joey and to Lori and to Todd for letting Dan and I come out and see the shop and just kind of look at all the lures from Musky Max, you know, and just kind of put this thing together. So super fun time, and I can't wait to get to Musky Max this weekend to check out some more of his baits in person. So guys, you know, 2 things here. We got Musky Max coming up here the 5th and 6th of March down in Cannonsburg at Princecape Arena. If you guys are into musky fishing, you're looking to get into musky fishing, you just want to be around musky fishing, this weekend is the weekend. Come on down to Cannonsburg, get involved, do some seminars, check out some products, talk to some talented guides, talk to local legend bait makers like Dale Wiley and the Todd at party. You know, just a really fun time and an awesome way to kill a weekend and really pick up some gear. So Musky Max, this upcoming weekend, when you guys get there, be sure to stop at the Leo Lures booth. Go talk to Todd, let him know you watched the video, let him know what you thought. You know, let me know what you thought. I just think this is such a cool thing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did. Yeah, guys, I mean, all that's left to say is get your Leo lures. I'll see you guys out at Max. We'll say tight lines. I'll see yins next time.